If there's anything that I've learned from President Trump, it is that social media works for personal branding. And on this episode, I am going to share with you how. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Carlos here. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, my all-new series in which I interview interesting guests in the world of social media and answer your questions. And I am coming at you once again from the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center here in San Francisco. So, personal branding continues to be a thing. And a lot of the questions I've received from the Snapchat fam over the last few weeks have been around just that. And let's face it, we have a president here in the United States that is extremely vocal around Twitter specifically and using social media as a place to go ahead and get his message broadcasted. Now, in full transparency, guys, I'm not making this episode about politics or about one side compared to the other, but I am going to address this first question.
Do you think our future world leaders are now great social media kids building huge following?
This is a fantastic question, which brings me to the point of where we're at today, where you have political leaders which are leveraging social media to go ahead and not only get into offices, but to be able to grow their brands on another level. So to answer Scooter's question, yes, I absolutely think that not just kids, like my own kids who are 10 and 8 years old, but I think the generation of millennials, my generation that has grown up with the internet and with social media, I think that you are going to start to see people that have big social media followings landing in congressional roles and political roles and even C-level roles at companies, which are also positions of power. And the reason why is that at the end of the day, social media from a personal branding standpoint helps you become much more relatable and also visible by the public. And I'll tell you this, just speaking from experience, every single job that I've interviewed for over the last few years specifically, when an employer looks at my personal brand and they see this person carries himself well, knows how to write well, he isn't afraid to speak in public. These are all things that the public, whether you're interviewing for a job or you're running for political office, they see as well. So I think once again, you'll have millennials, such as myself, going into positions of power, whether it's on a corporate level or in the government, and you'll start to see a lot of Generation Z, which is my kids' generation, using social media as a way to gain fame and popularity and then transition that fame and popularity into the next ranks of government, which is kind of scary when you think about it, but that's also the world that we're living in 2017.
Do you think old school SEO writers, bloggers, and designers still have value today?
I absolutely think that SEO, bloggers, and writers have value, and here's why. The majority of content that you consume today, even if it's video content, such as a YouTube video, has metadata within it. So what's metadata? It's your title, it's your description, it's your meta tags. These are all SEO-like features that are within every single YouTube video. So think of the role of an SEO expert or thought leader that back in the day, their job was to go ahead and ensure that your website comes up in the first few search results anytime someone Googles your business or your competition or the industry that you're in. YouTube's no different. If you are creating YouTube content, you want your content to appear within the first couple of search results, just like a website. And ironically, YouTube is owned by Google. So I think that skill set, which is a very, very unique skill set, can easily be transferred over to things like YouTube. In terms of bloggers and writers, it's no different. As a blogger, you can create written form content that then someone on a business level or someone even like myself can then take that written content and create video around it, and now you have twofer. You have the video that goes along with the blog. So I don't think these positions are necessarily extinct. What I do believe is that these more of traditional digital roles now have to be adapted to the new media and the new mediums that we're using to create content on and engage.
What is your favorite social media platform and why?
I get asked this question a lot, and a lot of folks assume that my favorite social network is Snapchat. And the reality is that it's not. Believe it or not, my favorite social network is Twitter, and it always has been Twitter. And the reason why my favorite social network is Twitter is because of the discoverability factor on there. That almost anyone that I want to go ahead and have a conversation with, whether it's a celebrity, someone in the world of business, or just anyone that's interested in the same topics that I'm interested in, I can very easily run a search and I can see who's talking about it, and I can jump in and have a conversation with them. So I would have to say, in order, my favorite social networks have to be Twitter, from again, the standpoint of discoverability, Facebook, because let's face it, everyone that's on social media is at least on Facebook, and you can't ignore it. You have to be on Facebook if you're on social media. And then I would say it's honestly a toss-up between Snapchat, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Take your pick between any of the three.
What platform will become dependent on live video next? LinkedIn or Snapchat?
Fantastic question. I think Snapchat has to roll out live video. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And let me just say this, guys. For as cool as Spectacles might be, Spectacles is not going to be what puts Snapchat over the top in terms of being able to compete head-to-head with Facebook/Instagram. It's just not. In fact, it's going to be live video. I am honestly surprised that sitting here in this studio at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center in February 2017, that Snapchat has fallen so far behind and gotten kicked in the teeth by Facebook over and over again. Facebook has rolled out Facebook Stories, Instagram Live, Instagram Stories, and Snapchat's still sitting there on the sidelines, and they haven't rolled out a live video product. So I firmly 110% believe if Snapchat wants to stay competitive, forget about trying to, lap Facebook in terms of market share. If they just want to stay in the game, at this point, they have to roll out live video. We've seen Twitter roll out live video, and for as much as people out there think that Twitter's a dying breed, I disagree. I think Twitter is still staying competitive, and they're staying in their swim lane of social network meets news. I think once again, when you start looking at this landscape, I think Snapchat is much more dependent on live video than say LinkedIn. And that's not to say that I don't think LinkedIn should have live video. In fact, LinkedIn, which is the world's largest social network for professionals, I think also should have gotten in the video game years ago, because when you really think about it, their platform, which has mass appeal to recruiters and job seekers, they could benefit specifically by having live video. But I don't think that people are going to jump off of LinkedIn if they don't have live video. I think when you look at this noisy ecosystem, as I refer to it a lot, with Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat in the mix, not having a live video platform or capabilities puts you far behind the competition. So to answer your question in a very long-winded manner, I would say Snapchat has to roll out live video. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Real Talk. If you want to get your question answered on the show, be sure to send me a tweet or hit me up on Instagram at Carlos Gil 83. Also, be sure to follow my friends at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center on Twitter, as well as on Instagram at The Center. And until next time, I will see you on social media. Peace.